bird gets the worm, right? So far, so good.
No, just Rotary. Just Rotary. Where you sitting? Hell no, I don't. Yesterday, I was like, screw it. I just wore a hoodie.
So am I.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even wear a collared shirt. It was my
Las Vegas, helping you have a
Not 37 times now. Not that I'm counting, but I still don't remember to turn on the microphone in time. I always like ringing the bell. Hey, how are you, Bob? An old friend. Okay. From your neighborhood. Awesome. Welcome to the Greater Las Vegas Rotary Club, the oldest and greatest club in Las Vegas and the world. Thank you. My name is Mike Ballard. I am the 99th president for you guests, the 99th president of this club. Next year is our centennial. We'll be 100 years old. We've got our past president, Katie Crockett, who's here today, that will be our 100th president. We'll have our invocation will be given by Jamie Goldsmith, and David Jones will be our song leader. Jamie and David, come on up. David, come on up too.
Okay, so can you hear me? Okay. So I'm going to say a prayer that my dad likes to say. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Oh Lord, who looketh down upon the frailties of man with charity and understanding, thank you for bringing us through another year and to this day. Let no ungenerous thought find lodgment in our heart. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
My country, 'tis of thee. Ready? My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. A little more reverent that time than the last time I did it.
Great, thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay. Setup today was provided by Kathy Mahan and Bob Warner. Our greeters were Greg McGuire and Carolyn Sparks. Our invocation, as you saw, was Jamie Goldsmith. David Jones was our song leader. Our sergeant of arms today is the lovely Arlene Sarah. Yay. Okay, we have tear down will be Susan Ziobro and Barbara Castro and anybody that wants to help them. I'm sure they welcome that. Our scribe today will be Nancy. Where are you, Nancy? She'll be here. Got it. So Tony's taking notes. No, she's not. Okay. Our photographer, the always present Jim Tucker, my friend of almost 40 years. And our AV team that's stellar as always, Kirk Alexander, Stu Lipoff, maybe with a little help from Kirk Holmes from time to time. Please help me welcome everybody who made today present. Okay, do we have Rotarians visiting from other parts of the community or the world?
We have our Canadian.
Our Canadian.
Canadian.
Welcome
He
again.
says, don't do that. Don't do me today.
Got it. Welcome. Okay, any other Rotarians visiting from other parts of the country or the state or the world? Okay, we have guests of Rotarians. Why don't you start all the way, Arlene, all the way on the other side and work your way this way. I've got two guests that I invited. They're my business partners from Dallas, Texas. Wallace Reed, stand up, and Mario Trevino.
Wait.
Okay, great. They don't, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. He's been here a few times. They're affordable housing builders. Any other guests of Rotarians?
It's weird being on this side of the microphone. This is my guest, Sarah Donnelly. Sarah is an Air Force veteran, and she is a very active volunteer with the diocese here in Las Vegas, and I am happy to have her. She's interested in what we do here for the community.
Welcome. Great. We're grateful for your service. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, thank you everyone for having me. I was active duty Air Force for 8 years. I was out of Nellis here in Vegas and as well as Andrews in DC. Thank you so much for all you do for our community, and it's an honor to be here.
Great. Thanks. Guests in the middle tables over here. We've got a few right here. Arlene, you just passed one.
I'd like to introduce my father-in-law, Bob Taylor, retired battalion chief for Clark County. I don't know how many years you did that for quite a few, but 6 years at McCarran International Airport. He actually has been to at least one of our volunteer events. He was at the car show, but he's just kind of here looking out. I kind of want him to find out all that we do at Rotary, because as a retired battalion chief, he's got a lot of gives to give.
Great. We appreciate it. Thanks, Bob.
A lot of fires to put out.
Got it.
Thank
Great.
you. Well, it's good to be here today. Thank you for inviting me, and it's nice to see what Rotary is all about. So I'm going to listen.
Okay, good. Arlene. Okay, we have more guests. John, who did you bring?
All right. I am happy to have my Aunt Maggie visiting me from Santa Rosa, California. And so I brought her to lunch. So.
Great. Welcome, Aunt Maggie. Okay, other guests or Rotarians. We've got a couple right here at the head table. Annie Nuna.
Well, my name is Annie Nuna, in case you forgot. Since
Bonsoir.
I've been here in so long, I just want you all to know how much I miss every single one of you. And I hope to be back full-time June 1st. I have a wonderful guest. She's like my daughter. I've known her mother before she met her father. And Kelly Giordani is running for judge. She is a prosecutor, and her husband is a district attorney, and her father was on the gaming commission. Wonderful family, wonderful people. So I would like you all to get to know her and maybe vote for her.
Great.
Hello, everyone. Kelly Giordani. Thank you for having me today. As Ani said, I'm a prosecutor. I've been with the Las Vegas City Attorney's Office for about 11 years. My husband's on the homicide team at the District Attorney's Office. So public safety, obviously a big issue for our family. And thank you for having me. I look forward to learning about what you do.
Great. Thank you. We have a guest also at the table, Steve Scow. Steve and I've known Steve, I don't know, a couple decades. I knew his mom first. His mother was a school board trustee and a county commissioner. And he's a local attorney here in town.
I don't have a whole lot exciting to say, but appreciate the invitation and glad to be here.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Any other guests back here? Okay, everybody, please let's give we have a guest over there. Okay, thank you, Joanne. Nice to see you again. Thank you, Rosalie, for reminding us of that. Okay. So everybody, let's give a warm welcome to all our visiting Rotarians and guests. Okay, Karen Wisenhunt, I think you have an announcement for us.
Actually, I have two regarding the Ukrainian humanitarian projects that we were looking at doing. I'm lucky enough to get copied on a lot of emails from Rotary clubs from all over the world. And I'm proud to say that there are thousands and thousands of Rotarian clubs that have stepped up, one of which is one of our partner clubs, Poltava. We were in the middle of doing a matching grant with them for sensory equipment for autism when the war broke out. So now they need food. They don't need an autistic room. So anyway, the sign-up sheet is going around. If you can, please make a donation. Second announcement is for Jim Hunt, and it's on a much lighter note. The St. Patty's Day, after St. Patty's Day, Cigar Fellowship and Potluck is coming up on March 18th. It's $10 per person. It's a potluck, so if you can, bring a side dish. And if you can, make a contribution for a raffle item. We're happy to show this beautiful cigar box here that was donated by Horizon. And our president, our President-elect Bill Houghton. So anyway, if you can make it, it's in the sign-up sheet, and we look forward to having you there.
Announcements. We have Bobbin, 25 Club. Bobbin, where are you? Way over there. Okay.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. So we had a great event at Russ Swain's house last Thursday. Yeah, that deserves a huge round of applause. Russ provided some really good chicken, and we had a potluck. We had some crumble cookies. I think Narek brought the crumble cookies. That was really good. But as a result of the event, we had a bingo night. And we raffled off, thanks to John Pally, we raffled off tickets to Bruno Mars. And we raised a total of $530 that night. The winner for the tickets was Melanie, and it was a battle between Kurt, Melanie, and Nareg, and she ended up getting the tickets for $260. So again, we had a great event, $530 raised that night. Our next event, we're actually not going to do it, I think, the first Thursday of April. For the month of April, it'll be the second Thursday in April. And the location, I believe, well, I'll tell the location next week when I confirm it. So with that, thank you guys.
Great. Kathy Mahan. Kathy, over here. Arlene, get your running shoes on.
I'm not running.
And then who's doing the science fair recap? Do we have somebody doing the science fair recap? Is that you too?
That was me.
Okay, great.
Actually, we went to the science fair, which was an engineering fair this year, and it was me and a couple of other Rotarians, and we had a great time looking at the kids' projects, which were sort of innovative but strange, but anyway, it was fun. It was at Bracken. And also our valedictorian luncheon is next month on the 21st. And the book giveaway at the schools from Brian Rosenberg and Massage Envy is going to be all during April. And Gwen and I have already set it up with our schools. So my school will start off Bracken on the 7th after Rotary to give out the books to the kids and the classrooms, and then Gwen's will be the next day. So it's all coming along. It's coming together.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Tony Kern. She has an announcement related to our next orientation. Well, now go ahead. Do two.
First is the new member orientation is next Tuesday, March 15th at Rose Falaco's home. We already have about 17 people signed up. We have 5 new members or those that are prospective members to be inducted, where inductions are being scheduled. That will be in attendance. So we would like to have as many people as possible so that these new people can meet the old people and we can all be oriented together. Yeah, the old people, the older members, seasoned members. So please be sure to sign up in the Green Book. Also, the Green Our Planet projects are still moving forward. We still need several people to sign up for both the Farm to Table pop-up party, and the details are in the Green Book, or you can ask me, as well as the Farmers Market on March 22nd. And we're working on the details to get cool t-shirts and a great Rotary booth setup. So we want to make sure we have all the right people and the right props.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay. Over the last 6 months, we've been working on the Family History app and the Family Search app. And so I'd like you to warm those up. We're going to talk about those in a moment. Our next announcement is on March 27th, we have the foundation dinner at Red Rock Country Club for the District Foundation. On April 29th, I think, Barbara, do you have something to tell us? What's going on April 29th? Where's Barbara Castro? There you go, right in front of me.
Hi, so April 29th, we're going to do a tree planting ceremony. It's going to be at McCall, and it's going to be at 3:30. I hope you guys can all make it. We're going to plant another tree. It's going to be a pear tree, and it's going to be for about probably maybe 45 minutes. Not going to be too long. So if you guys can make it, that would be wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We also have a regional golf tournament, and our club has sponsored 4 golfers, or we didn't sponsor, they're sponsoring themselves. We appreciate it. We're going to add it to, we're going to bill you, all those that signed up, we're just going to bill you direct. Is that correct, Sean? Okay, great. Okay, Tony Kern, I think we have an important presentation to occur right now.
We're going to have the entourage come up.
Entourage, come on up.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have a very special induction today. We are honored today to induct Jerry Brown, a transferring Rotarian, as a new member into the Las Vegas Rotary Club, the greatest Rotary Club in the universe, as you well know. While all inductions of new members are special, this one really close right here, like I'm touching it. Are you sure? Okay. All right, guys. It feels a little weird on my lipstick, but we'll keep going. All right. I'll start this. While all inductions of new members, is that better? Are special. This one has a twist since it's another husband, wife. There we go. That's better. Husband, wife membership. And our membership director is his sponsor. So from here on out, Jerry, you're not Jerry Brown, but Jerry Kern. Ha, sorry. We'll keep you as Jerry Brown, but your wife's pretty special. So, Ms. Kern, wife sponsor, would you like to introduce Mr. Jerry Brown to the club? This is so awkward. I have no idea what he's going to say, but whatever he says, don't believe him because it's going to be embarrassing. It's just tough. Jerry has been a member of Rotary since 2003 in 5280 in Southern California. And so I've had the Rotary life through him, and it's a little odd and kind of neat for me to be able to now be his sponsor in bringing him to our club. He's finally learned it's time to kind of move on and maybe get into the retirement thing. Whoops. Just by way of a little bit of background, he's held numerous positions in 5280, both at his club level and district level, having been an executive aide to district governors on 2 occasions. So he did a 2-year stint. He truly believes in and follows the service above self. And he's the one that taught me that you don't become a Rotarian, you just are one. You either are or you aren't. And he is an exemplary example of a Rotarian. By way of background, he did 2 tours of duty in Vietnam, being a member of the Navy. He is retired law enforcement at the rank of lieutenant. And he is currently a general manager of a police impound yard. Basically, it's a glorified name for a social get-around guy because he does things getting contracts between cities and the tow company. He is, as you will find out if you haven't already, very personable, very social. He's got a great gift of gab, and he has a way of making people laugh all the time with a bit of sarcasm. He loves a good cigar, loves his Harley motorcycles, plays a little golf, and he is ready now to move on to the greatest Rotary Club around. Thank you, Tony. And Jerry, well, we understand that you're not shy to speak, as Tony mentioned. Would you like to say, I'm going to say a few words. That is very italicized in my notes. So.
My boss, Tony, told me to make sure I kept it brief, so I will. When I found out this was the greatest Rotary Club in the world, I thought, I'm going to be part of that. So I thank you for welcoming me here, and I appreciate what you've done. Look forward to being part of it. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you both. Now for the formal induction. Most of us go through life focused on career and family. But at some point, we realize we are part of a much bigger community that needs our help. That realization is a life-altering milestone. We believe that joining Rotary is the vehicle to enable an individual to accomplish more, reach more people than individually possible, and change another person's life by creating an environment of possibility and hope. Jerry, you reached this milestone far earlier than most by serving for more than 19 years as an active Rotarian at both the club and district level. It is the duty of our Rotary Club to add new members and keep them, as Katie mentioned, so that we may not only increase our usefulness and influence as a club, but also extend the spirit of Rotary throughout the entire community. Membership in Rotary is both an honor and a privilege, and every privilege has its corresponding commitments, including attendance at weekly meetings, fulfilling the principle of fellowship, and a way by which you represent your vocation. A commitment to perform your share of club and community service through the many committees our club offers, affording you plenty of opportunities to serve, and last but not least, the ideal of friendship. Jerry, may you be inspired by the friendships you find here, and may we in turn know you to be an added source of strength for our club. Each Rotarian is expected to be an example of the basic ideal of Rotary, service above self. And we anticipate you will continue being an example of that ideal. You are now being given a pin by your sponsor as a symbol of your acceptance into our family of Rotary. Now that it's on, wear it proudly, Jerry. We all look forward to the enrichment of our lives as well as that of your own by your association in Rotary, the world's oldest, largest, and finest service organization. Fellow Rotarians, please stand. Jerry, on behalf of your new club and friends, it is our pleasure and honor to extend congratulations to you on becoming the newest member of the Las Vegas Rotary Club.
Jerry, 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 Jerry.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a few minutes for fellowship. Enjoy your meal. I want to welcome our guests also that are online. We've got 6 or more that are watching us over the internet. And I failed to mention, we're doing our highway cleanup on Saturday. Who's going to be there? Okay, it's Saturday, Blue Diamond in the Red Rock Loop. So if you need directions, send Sean a note or send me a note and we'll get you directions. Most of us have been there before. Number 2, if you guys could open your family search app, those of you that have done this, we're going to have a couple more programs talking about this. So if you need help, we're willing to do kind of Zoom instruction to help you get started. But I'm offering a $20 prize to see who's the most closely related to our speaker. So open your app, hit scan. Okay. Mr. Brady, who is the most closely related to you in the audience that's not Steve Scow?
None for me.
Hold on, there's a bunch coming up now. Kirk Holmes, you're my 9th cousin. Susan is my 8th cousin. Our speaker is my 10th cousin. And Annie Nuda is my 2nd mother. David Allen Jones, congratulations. Take a picture with your cousin.
Am I number 9?
You're his closest relative here in the group. Oh, how many removed? Twice removed. Okay. Your ninth cousins, 10th cousins, Dan Adamson. It's my $20. Take a picture with Travis here. Jim, you ready? Hold that up. Say hi to your cousin.
That's an app.
There you go. Thank you. Okay, now for the reason why you're here is our raffle. We know that. It's all about the green. No. Okay. For those of our visitors, we hold a 50-50 raffle. And when I call the number out, that person has the right to draw the joker. And if they draw the joker, they get half the pot, which today is over $2,000. Oh, I got the wrong raffle amount in here. I want to say it's $2,009. So half of that will go to you and half goes to our foundation. So I'm shuffling the card in every week. When somebody doesn't pick the joker, we tear up the card so the odds get better and better. So the person who gets the right to draw a card is 749081. 749081. Tucker? Okay, you can. And he's going to rip up the 8. It's an 8 of hearts. He gets a $10 consolation prize every day. Okay, now for the $50 and Lowry gift cards. That number is 749147. 749147.
Murray got it.
Murray.
Our internet Larry stuff. Now you can go out to dinner.
Okay, I'd like to introduce our speaker. I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Travis Brady. I've known Travis probably for, 6 or 8 years. Haven't known him well, but Tom Thomas invited him. He's a local. He has one distinction. He's bettered me in many ways, but he bettered me in one way that totally surprised me. I went to 5 elementary schools here in Las Vegas. He went to 7, including Temple Beth Shalom preschool. Plus Temple Beth Shalom. So our speaker is the president CEO of Brady Industries. He's going to tell us about his business and the family business that it's been for decades and decades. Please help me welcome Travis Brady.
All right, let's see, where's the click? Oh, here we go. All right. Well, it's great being here. Appreciate a good lunch and getting to know a few people and seeing some old friends. While they're getting that queued up, just a little bit about our family. I guess I'll in my presentation I'll talk a bit about our family and then about our business, and then leave a few minutes at the end for questions. But I am a 3rd generation Las Vegan. My kids now are 4th generations, and I have a almost 6-month-old granddaughter. However, she was born in Washington, D.C. So I don't know, maybe the chain's broken. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try and get him here at some point. All right. Let's see. Down, right? It is on. And oh, there we go. Oops. Okay. Maybe I got a point. Okay. So, I'll talk a little bit about our family, what brought us to Las Vegas, talk mostly probably about our company. In a family business, your company is part of your identity, I think. And so it's hard to introduce myself and my family without talking about the business. And then again, I'll have some questions at the end if there's interest. So my grandparents moved to Las Vegas in 1936. My grandfather was a grocery store manager. So he managed Safeway grocery stores, and they had transferred him around the West. And in 1936, transferred him to Las Vegas. He opened up a Safeway grocery store where the parking garage of the Golden Nugget sits now. So in context. And in 1936, they bought a little house on the corner of 9th and Clark. And they lived in that house until 2003, when my dad convinced them finally to move. They were in their 90s at that point, late 90s. My grandfather, who's pictured there, passed away in 2005 at 98. And then my grandmother almost exactly a year later at 96. And so that's a little bit of the family history. So I grew up going every Sunday down to my grandparents at 9th and Clark, and we'd jump the fence over at Las Vegas High School and play on the tennis courts. And, it was a fun playground for us as kids. So then my grandfather, about 10 years later in 1947, started a janitorial supply company that was called at the time City Janitor Supply. And now this is a picture of a building that came much later. The original building, I think, was on Wyoming and included one employee plus him. And my father at the time was, I don't know, 1 or 2 or 3 years old. And he has a brother that's a year and a half older. So they were probably the first 2 unofficial employees, at least underpaid employees, or however that works in family business. But it was a small company. At that time in 1947, I mean, someone can double check the demographics here, but I want to say, I mean, Las Vegas population was something like 10,000, 20,000. It was very small at that time. And so I don't know what the vision was for starting the business at that point, how much cleaning actually needed to be done, but it also happened to be in 1947, the year that Bugsy Siegel opened the Flamingo. So maybe there was this vision of the Strip coming at some point. But that's the bit of the origins of our family here in Las Vegas. So again, company started in 1947. Whoops, down arrow, right? Okay. So my father, Bill Brady, took over the business in the mid 70s. Now, my father's the youngest, and there's quite a big gap between him and his older sister, which is about 18 years older. So my father was in college. My grandfather was in his mid to late 60s at the time and suffering from poor health. Felt like the stress of business was part of that. And so called my dad one day and said, are you going to go to college or are you going to come into business? Because either you come in the business or, we got to close this or sell it or something. So my dad came down and then a couple of years later bought the business from his father. At the time, there was a concern over, how much longer would my grandfather live? His health was poor. And my dad wanted to make sure they had income for his mother, so that he bought it on an interest-only arrangement. And so that was in the mid 70s. And of course, as I mentioned, my grandfather lived until he was 98 years old in 2005, still making that monthly interest check. And my grandfather would often, give my dad a hard time and saying, that was the worst business deal you ever did, back in the mid 70s. But so again, my father came on about by 1980, changed the name to Brady Industries. And that's, most people are more familiar with that name, obviously not city janitor, but Brady Industries is well, there's a small change to that now, but Brady Industries is the kind of legacy name. So, at that time, the offering expanded a bit from, very basic cleaning supplies to a bit of a broader offering, including some hotel supplies, little hotel amenities, kind of broader. And a little bit later, maybe I'll get into a little bit more what the products might look like, but what you'd be familiar with: paper products, cleaning chemicals, vacuums, equipment, things like that, sold commercially. So the company's never done cleaning, but we would sell professional cleaners or other type industries. And so, during the 80s, I would say, or maybe, by the end of the 80s, my father had helped build the company to be the biggest of its kind in Las Vegas. And, there were a lot of other competitors, of course, still are, but really kind of carved out our kind of place in this industry. So maybe a bit more about my father as well. And by the way, I'm one of seven. I'm the oldest of seven, 6 boys and 1 girl. And so we all grew up in the business. I learned to drive on a forklift. I did my first run as a delivery driver at 15 and a half, and I had to take an adult with me because I had my permit, and it was a Laughlin run that I had to make. And then my father was a 3-time Nevada State Assemblyman. And so that contributes to 2 of those elementary schools, because 2 were in Carson City for me in my 3rd grade and 5th grade year. As well, he retired in probably 2006 or so, but also around that time served on the Nevada State Athletic Commission. In fact, was the chairman of the Nevada State Athletic Commission for a period of time as well, which was a great perk for us because we got great seats for all the UFC and boxing events here. But he enjoyed that. So I started full time with the business in 1993 when I left school. But by 2000, my father was, starting to think about retirement. People sometimes ask me, now, when did your father retire? And I say, in a family business, retirement is more of a process than an event. And the only reason I kind of hone in on 2006 is we moved into our current offices in 2006. And after about 2 or 3 years of him never going to his office, we figured, well, I guess he's retired. And in 2000, our industry had kind of reached this point where, it didn't matter how big you were in one market. That was the path forward was kind of murky for that. There's a lot of consolidation in our industry, and we felt like we either needed to sell, like a lot of companies were doing, or grow to become more relevant in our industry. And I guess my dad decided how old would I have been? At 30, I was too young to retire or something like that. I don't know. But he said, go build the business. And so we started expanding outside of Las Vegas in 2000. And I'll show you a little bit with the way we look today. So most of the geographic growth was through acquisition. We would acquire other companies in our space, but we did open some, greenfield operations in various cities for various reasons. Along that time, also, we shifted from being a product-focused company to a solutions-focused company. And it's only, it's relevant because our products continue to evolve and expand and grow. And so, for us, that was a pivotal shift in how we would the value we viewed us bringing our customers. And then in 2021, so just 14 months or so ago, we merged with a company called Individual Food Service out of California. So now the company is Brady IFS. So historically, we're what was referred to as JanSan, or janitorial sanitation products. And then, and we were branching into food service. So food service disposables, to-go containers, cutlery, napkins, food film, all these kinds of things. And Individual Food Service was looking to do the opposite. They were trying to get a little bit more into the JanSan, or the cleaning products, et cetera. And I've known those individuals for a long time, so just made sense for us to join forces. Let me keep my eye on the time here. All right. So, oops, down. I'm going to take a little detour here because some people also are familiar with our linen services business. Okay, so Brady Linen Services. So at that same time in 2000, when we were expanding our distribution, our JanSan business, our cleaning business outside of Las Vegas, we started a commercial laundry company. And some people say, well, how did that happen? How do you go from toilet paper and glass cleaner to cleaning linens? Well, part of that product offering expansion I had talked about, years before that, we started selling commercial laundry chemical that we would sell to commercial laundries, as well as laundry equipment, commercial laundry equipment. For example, in the early 90s, we built the MGM Grand laundry facility. We built the facility currently used today as the Central Caesars laundry facility, big automated facilities. And in 2000, the new Aladdin was reopening, and we were going to build a laundry for them. At the last minute, they said, we don't want to spend money in laundry equipment. Why don't you guys just do it? And so we signed an agreement with the new Aladdin Hotel to do their laundry, and they were going to be opening in about 6 months, and we had no laundry facility. And so through a series of events, we acquired the old Bally's Paris Laundry, which we had built what was then Park Place Entertainment, a new centralized facility, and so launched Brady Linen Services with one customer processing about 25,000 pounds of linen a day. That would be sheets, towels, tablecloths, napkins, etc. So fast forward to 2014, we had grown to produce about 2 million pounds of laundry a day, with about 3,000 employees, with facilities in Las Vegas, Atlantic City, Macau, Philadelphia, Connecticut, Hawaii, Cancun, Mexico, and the Bahamas. And so the first decade and a half of the 2000s were very busy for us. At the same time, we grew on the distribution side from one location, and in that same period of time, to probably about 10 locations. And so that was all happening in that first 10 years, 14 years or so of expansion. In 2014, however, the Brady Linen Services business really grew out of our legacy business, and it had reached a point it needed to live on its own. The continued expansion path there was great, but it needed to live on its own. And so in 2014, we sold the business, or at least a majority share of the business, to a private equity partner. My brother then stayed on that side of the business. And so Brady Linen Services still is there today. It's part of a larger group now called Pure Star Linen, with Brady Linen and Atlantic City Linen being the first two members of Pure Star. But now that's Brady Linen Services. All right, so now back then to Brady Industries, or Brady IFS now, the distribution side of the business. This is what we look like today. So we're still headquartered in Las Vegas, but now we have about 40 distribution facilities covering, roughly 50% of the country or so, about $1 billion in revenue now, which just seems crazy to say, from city janitor supply with one employee and a delivery service on Wyoming Avenue. And these red dots there are the individual food service, or the legacy individual food service locations. But the merger's about a year old, and so we're all, though, coming under the Brady IFS name and organization, and that, of course, is still a work in progress. All right, a few more pieces here. So just to be a little more clear on how our business is broken down, from a product standpoint, you can see we're about 50% Jansan, cleaning or cleaning related products, and about 50% food service disposables or products, and food. And the food part would be sort of non-perishables. So about 50-50 in terms of Jansen and food service. And if you look at who are our customers, well, restaurants, healthcare facilities, BSC is building service contractors or professional cleaning companies. Obviously hospitality with the resorts here, casinos, high traffic facilities like the airport, grocery store. So we provide everything for 2 regions of Whole Foods, from basically Texas up into Chicago. So that's a bit of how we break down from a product and customer standpoint. But this is probably my favorite thing to talk about with our company, and that is our culture. And so a lot of times people will ask me, well, what's helped your company be successful? Do you have just great products, or, what is it? And I'd say, no, we're proud of our products, but quite frankly, we do have some products that are unique to us. Most of them are not unique to us. Our customers could get most of them elsewhere. So why us? And I point always to our culture. And our culture, I'll really point to my father as its origins, and then all of our people, our employees, our leaders today for being the champions of that culture. And, as we've grown, and again, largely through acquisition, any company we acquire has to pass through this sort of culture filter first. Do they fit with how we look at business? Do they fit with how we treat our employees and the communities that we operate in and our customers? And if not, it's just not a good fit. And so, we really, and some of these various words came from some of the companies we acquired, but they really all coalesce around these 4 basic principles, which is, first, we do it together. We go together as one organization, one team. None of us is stuck on what our level is or what our formal job description is. Doesn't matter. We do whatever we need to do. I've been known still to jump in a truck from time to time and make an emergency delivery and whatever we need to do. And then when we're great with that, we do it as one. We're compassionate. We really look at ourselves as a people company and a people business, and that means we're compassionate. But so the second, but we build. We're aggressive. We want to grow. We're passionate about what we do. We try to be pioneering. We try not to just say, well, this is the way it's always been done. We must continue to do it that way. We really try to challenge things. We have a little tagline that says honestly better. We think there's plenty of things we can improve on. And so we all need to be okay with improving, and don't look at that as means you have to admit that you were wrong to improve. Forget about that. Let's improve. It's just all about being better. And the third, accountability, dutiful, insightful. And I'll hone in on that word dutiful. We really feel like we have a duty as a company to do the right thing. to do what we've committed to do. If we make a commitment, we will do it, period. Even if that means losing in the short run. We're in the 75th year of our, long-term strategy. We have time. We want to do it the right way, believing that, again, over time, that'll pay dividends. And that applies to how we treat our customers, our employees, and again, the community. My father was and is a very philanthropic individual, but also a very private individual when it came to that. And we found over the years that our employees would hear things that my father had done, and they really got a sense of pride from that. They liked feeling that they were associated with an organization that did good things. And so about 10 years or so ago, we decided, well, we'll take a portion of that, of our community involvement, and let our employees really, kind of celebrate that together, be a part of it. And so we have a Brady Shines program. We do quarterly grants. Our employees sit on a committee and make the decision on where those grants are given. I don't sit on that committee. All we say is it has to be education or children and youth focused. Outside of that, our employees will review those applications and make those grant awards. And so to date, I think I don't know, I've lost track of the list, but in terms of organizations that we've contributed to and helped, it's over 100, and continue to do that. And then finally, we're optimistic. We think it's better to be optimistic than pessimistic. One way or another, it's up to us to get things done. We may as well believe in ourselves. Have some fun while we're doing it, and smile a bit along the way. And I think this is it. So what's next for us? Well, that you saw that map before still has some kind of blank areas on it. So we're really focused on trying to fill out those parts of the country that we still need to be able to service. We should, I don't know, over the next 5 years or so, my sense will be we'll have everything covered. We really have now this 50% of our business in commercial cleaning supplies, 50% in food service supplies. Very little of that, kind of overlaps in the same market. Maybe Las Vegas more so than others, but that's still just the tip of the iceberg. So we're also really focused on making sure that we're offering the full breadth of our products and services to our customers. And so that process is starting now. And then just fully integrating. Again, we're not a collection of independents. We are united. We go together as one. And so now bringing all of those organizations obviously together and making sure we're all pulling that rope in the same direction is critical, important for us as well. So I think that's so questions. I mean, I could go on forever, but I figured,
Is Smart and Final a competition to you guys?
No. So while people can come into our office and buy product, it's 99% of the 99.9%, large volume that we deliver commercially. And so, more so maybe a bit on the food service, maybe a small catering company or something, maybe could choose to buy from us or go to Smart and Final, but that's not really our customer. For example, in the restaurants, we also do the dish machines, the automated dish machines and the product and the maintenance, so we're kind of bigger business than would typically go to Smart and Final. Yeah.
Is Western Linen still around?
So Western Linen is part of Brady Linen now. So so Brady Linen acquired Mission Linen in 2011, and then there's a shared investment in Western Linen. Yeah, but yeah, know them well. Yeah.
My question is, do you make your products or do you buy them?
We buy them. So we have some chemical products that are made for us in our brand. But for the most part, in addition to that, we are sourcing product from all over the world. So we have a sourcing team that will spec it, will find a mill, sometimes specify how it's to be made. But then that's on the one hand. And then on the other hand, we're also distributors for companies like Rubbermaid, Georgia Pacific, 3M, Procter and Gamble, those kind of companies. Yeah.
Are you still servicing the MGM?
Yes. Yeah. They're
I
a
understand.
good client of ours.
I understand their room service has gone from dishes to plastics and
Yeah.
how is that going?
It's all going that way. Yep. Well, I can tell you between 3 weeks ago and the middle of June, we'll have about 175 containers worth of product, shipping containers worth of product arriving for the MGM of just 10 SKUs. What's that? Yeah, it's arriving. It's arriving. Our warehouse reminds me every day. It just keeps arriving.
Well, good afternoon, Travis. Thanks for the presentation. Awesome to see your family's company emulating, what the Rotary talks about for how we conduct business in our own enterprises. My question was kind of what you were just about to allude to. I was up in St. George last week, and I asked a waiter for a knife, and he said, "Well, we only have 24 knives in the entire restaurant." Another restaurant, Chipotle, they had no rice. So what have you seen with the supply chain, and is it getting better? How long is it going to go on? What's your perspective? Thank you.
Yeah, supply chain's been crazy. I mean, let me just back up 2 years, almost exactly 2 years ago. I was in our Washington, D.C. office when this sort of COVID thing hit in, kind of in earnest. And I got a call saying, "What do you want us to do?" There's like 100 people that are lining up outside to buy toilet paper. And I thought, why are they buying toilet paper? I hadn't sort of got the news that there was this rush on toilet paper and everything was out. And I said, well, I guess sell it to them. But then about a day later, we thought we can't do it. We had to hire security to guard our warehouse, which is crazy when people found out we had toilet paper, hand sanitizer, rubber gloves and masks and disinfectant. So fast forward to today, supply chain's still a challenge, and it's a challenge in very unpredictable ways. One product that you're totally fine with, next week you can't get. Now, I'll say our team's done a great job with that. I think we do better than most. I would say there's some relief that we're starting to see, but my sense is we'll be well through this year before there's any sustained and significant improvement. Yeah.
So I think you already answered my first question, which was going to be, how did you navigate through COVID? But it sounds like your industry has exploded actually because of COVID.
Yeah, toilet paper salesmen suddenly became very popular over the last. Yeah, no, it was good for our business and not good for our business, right? I mean, we suddenly could, a lot of the things we sold, we could sell a lot of at the same rate. A lot of things we would sell, we didn't sell any of. And it was disruptive, obviously, to our customers and our employees and a lot of those things. But in the end, I feel very blessed that we were in the industry we're in, quite frankly.
Absolutely. Second question is, obviously you have expanded beyond Las Vegas, but how many people do you employ right here in our valley?
So our corporate office is here, again, on the linen side, it's nearly 2,000, and that's a very labor, obviously intensive business. On the distribution side, it's about 200. Yeah, on the distribution side of the business.
With everything going on in the world and domestically, do you anticipate any major price increases? I paid your bill this morning, by the way.
Let's see, what time is it? Let's see, I think we've had like 2 price increases today already. I think it's crazy. Product, just as an example, 2 years ago, a case of disposable gloves, 1,000 disposable gloves probably sold for $20. It's probably 200 now. And so, that's maybe some of the extreme examples. If you look at the regular run-of-the-mill type products that aren't sort of pandemic related, it's higher than the published inflation rate. So let's just say that. So, we do our best to lock in contracts as long as we can, pre-buy as long as we can. More often today, it's presenting alternatives, if someone's looking to avoid some of the cost increases, but it's hitting us like everyone. Yeah.
Cousin. I'm one of 7 too, and I grew up in a fourth generation in a family business, and we had a hardware store. And until you said that a hotel was going to be open up in town, I thought maybe the need for supplies was going to be because you had such a large family, because I know that we used to sell drums of laundry detergent and cases of toilet paper when I was a kid at our hardware store. But I used to work in purchasing and contracts at the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. And I recall when our building clients and their clients were coming into the building and they were asking for more sustainable supplies. At the time, our buyers in purchasing and contract, we were working hard to find suppliers like yourself, who could provide those items for us. Has that inventory improved in that demand?
Yeah, significantly from a sustainability standpoint, the products have gotten better, they've gotten cheaper. There's so many different alternatives, even including plastic trash bags. We have a source that produces those out of reclaimed irrigation pipes. So 15 years ago, it was very hard to find a real sort of green or sustainable product, but that's a significant piece of what we do today. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, we want to thank Travis for his presentation today. I don't know if you noticed, Travis, but our charities are similar to the charities that you sponsor in education and children's programs. And we've sponsored 6 schools, providing clothes and shoes and supplies, and we do agricultural programs with them. But in honor of your speech today, we're giving you the Soul Power Award, which is we're donating shoes in your name to children at these underprivileged schools.
Great.
Thank you
Perfect.
very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Say cheese. Great. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're adjourned. Oh, I already said it.